Hi, I hope everyone is having a wonderful, fantastic day and a great start to the holidays. Can you all believe that it's minus 30 days from 2025? Because I absolutely cannot. This past year has been such a wonderful year on BookTube for me. It's my first year on BookTube, and I'm so grateful to have met so many wonderful new BookTubers, made a lot of BookTuber friends, and just get to talk to you all and get to talk to all the BookTubers that I have met about everything between book related to life related to mangas, manhwas, everything in between when it comes to reading. So I'm really blessed to have spent the past year with you all. And as a way to wrap up this new year, I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag. For this book tag, the first person I saw was actually Ellen at the Ellen Made Book Club. I saw her video and I knew I wanted to do it. But then I was so graciously tagged by Lauren at Love Lauren, my favorite, my bestie, my sister from another half planet world mother. And she tagged me to do this tag as well. So I'm really excited. I was going to do it anyways. And I'm not going to tag anyone in this video. I highly encourage any booktubers or anyone who just wants to do a wrap up of their year to just do it. It's a wonderful tag and it's a great way to kind of reflect back on the year and then what's to come in the next year as well. The original creator for this tag is Ariel Bissett. I'll have everyone's channel information and everything down in the description as always. And let's get right into this video. Question number one is, are there any books that I have started this year that I still need to finish? The very first one on top of my head is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Now, I mentioned this in a TBR a while back, but I have started this book back in January or February, and I just have not picked it up since then. I'm not sure why, because I feel like this should be a fairly quick read, and I'm pretty determined to finish it by the end of the year, especially since I annotated and I left a lot of notes in it. So I think this might be a good book to use to get prompts for my daily journaling. But I'm not 100% invested. I'm not sure. It is on my 10 before the end, but you'll have to see in 2025 to see if I actually have finished this book. So aside from The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, generally I read books immediately. So I don't have too many books that are straggling behind and need to be caught up. But the two books that are on top of my head that is straggling behind just a little bit is one, Charming the Duke of the North. I think I started this in October. It is now December. And honestly, I gotta be really honest, I'm not sure if it's 100% I'm going to finish it. It might just end up being a DNF because while it's not bad, it's very bland. And honestly, in manhwa, the tropes of regressing or being isekai is quite common, to be frank. And unless it's done very, very well, maybe I shouldn't spend too much time reading it. The next book isn't really a book, but it's actually a video game called Honkai Star Rail. The last time I checked and the last time I updated you all, I believe I was on the main story 2.6, and I'm kind of behind because right now the whole story is currently at 3.0 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on their patches or chapter releases. I'm gonna call it that way for those who are more familiar with books. I don't really keep up with the chapter release numbers, so I'm not 100% accurate, but I am pretty close to finishing. So I'm going to try to get through the last bits and parts of Honkai Star Rail and be caught up with the story. So I'm no longer going to be behind on it all. And that is it for all the books that I want to catch up on before the end of 2024. Question number two is, do I have an autumnal book to transition into the new year? For me personally, I don't really read by season, so this book doesn't really fit and relate to me. However, I did manage to read some books that really give me that Christmassy vibes, that winter vibes. And the very first one up is going to be Love Like Farms by B.K. Morrison. You guys will see in a reading vlog on Wednesday about what I think about this book. But for me, I felt like this was the perfect book to transition into winter, specifically Christmas. It's a fake dating friends to lover kind of book that's set in Christmas time, that's set in the winter time with Christmas tree and all of that good stuff. So this really transitioned me into the Christmas mood and the Christmas vibes, hence the antlers. And the next book that I was able to read during the cold winter vibes that really make me feel like it's a solid winter is Beartown. Just look at the cover. The cover itself screams winter vibes. Even though I live in California and it's not really that cold, I believe it's currently around 65 to 70 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, maybe that's a little bit high. And I can't do quick maths in my head as to what is that in Celsius, so I'll have that printed on the screen. But this book really gives off the vibes of wintertime and cozy, just wanting to be under the blanket. And I thought this was a great transitional read into winter. Though I will have to say that that this has nothing to do with winter except for the fact that they play hockey and it's in the winter season. Though if I recall correctly, this happens in March, but I'm gonna just ignore that fact for now. Question 3 asks if I have any new releases I'm still waiting for. Now, I don't really wait for new releases. I actually don't have them on my radar for the most part, except for my auto buy authors. I kind of have them in a vague back of my mind, and when it comes out, it comes out. But the only one I can think of on top of my head is the 6th volume of the 7th Loop Villainous, the manga edition, and I believe this came out November 25th. So if I filmed this video when I was supposed to film it, yes, I would have been looking forward to that book. However, it has now been released and I need to go pick it up at my local bookstore. But aside from that, I don't really have any other new releases that's on my radar for 2024. Question 4 asks, what are 3 books you want to read by the end of 2024? Now, when I saw Ellen's video, I had 2 books in mind that I had on the forefront of my mind, and now I have like a 10 before the end, which that video will come up sometime this month, hopefully. But when I was talking to Ellen, it was Ruthless Vow and Anxious People. I'm happy to say that I did complete Ruthless Vow before the end of 2024. So technically, I finished Ruthless Vow. I have Anxious People, which is going to be one of my reads that I for sure want to read by the end of 2024, and one more slot. And the last slot, I think I'm going to have to say One for My Enemy. I saw this book first on Lauren's channel at Love Lauren, and she absolutely loved that book. She said that it might be her favorite book of 2024 yet. So I'm really excited because her and my taste are very, very similar. So I expect it to rank really high in terms of fantasy romance and possibly even be the best book of 2024. Now, the reason why Anxious People is also on the list is because I am expecting a lot out of Anxious People. Now, Anxious People is originally a recommendation slash I got this off of her channel from Jessie. So she really loved Anxious People and she really loved how in-depth the characters are in Anxious People. And I can see how that is completely possible after reading Beartown, because Frederick Bachman just has such a way of writing characters, showing us glimpses into their lives and just building a whole world and personality around them. You don't get much, but the specific things he writes about really give you a lot of perspective into their personality, their emotional thought, their psyche, everything, and it feels like that character is a true human being that actually live in this Beartown world. So I'm really excited to see that execution in Anxious People. I have a lot of high hopes and I'm really excited. Also, Jessie rated One for My Enemy out of 4.5 stars. So I'm really excited for One for My Enemy because I'm expecting it to be ranked really high, if not going to be the best book of 2024. So I think those are technically the 3 I have to finish by the end of 2024 that I have a set goal in mind. And with Ruthless Vow already completed, I'm gonna cheese it a little bit and say add on the Burning God because I'm an overachiever, and the Burning God will be the now new 3rd book that I want to finish before the end of 2024. It's a little bit cheating, but technically not because I've already finished Ruthless Vows, but I'm currently at around the 35% mark for the Burning God, and I am excited to finish this book. Those 3 books, the reason why I want to finish before the end of 2024, because I genuinely think that one of these 3 books will be my favorite book for 2024. So apparently I decided to group question 4 and question 5 together in my head. So I already answered question 5, and question 5 is there a book that you think could still shock you and be your favorite for 2024? As I said in question 4, the 3 books I want to finish by the end of 2024 are the books that I think can shock me in being my favorite. I'm not going to repeat myself, but I am going to repeat myself. Anxious People, One for My Enemy, and The Burning God. Reasons? Please refer back to question number 4. And the last question to wrap up this bookish tag is, have I already started planning for next year? Now, in terms of actually goal setting and solid plans for reading, I don't really want to have an actual plan in reading. I really want to keep reading as a hobby, a fun hobby, and something that I enjoy doing. But I also want to keep in mind of some things that I want to do to be more of an active participant in the reading community, and also to make sure that voices voices are being represented and heard. So I wouldn't even say these are goals or plans. It's just something that I want to incorporate into my reading to better educate myself and just gain more knowledge, right? So the very first one is I want to read a Vietnamese book. I mentioned this in my international booktuber tag. I am Vietnamese and Vietnamese is my first language, but I'm so rusty and I feel kind of a disconnect to my own heritage. So I really want to just pick up a middle grade book, and I'm hoping with reading Vietnamese, it will solidify that language and connect me more to my heritage and my roots. Honestly, 2024 has just been a good year for me to read and see where my patterns lie and how I want to get more knowledge as to what areas am I missing in my reading, right? And what areas do I want to grow? And BIPOC authors, LGBTQ representations are really big things that I want to improve on, and more neurodivergent characters and authors. I know that Kat at Curious Cat did Neuro November, and I'm really going to try to participate in 2025. Honestly, right now, especially October and November, my reading has been kind of like not good, and I'm finally getting back into the grooves of things in December, and I think my life is a little bit out of whack, genuinely, probably because of the sun going down earlier. So seasonal depression is a really big thing for me, and I really feel like I haven't been as active, and I really want to set that goal early and keep that in mind early so that when Neuro November come around next year, I can be much more of an active participant and maybe already have a couple books under my belt so I know what I like and what I want to read. And then last but not least, I think I want to have a month or dedicate some time to rereading some books. I know that if I don't dedicate some time to actually reread those books, I probably won't do it. A good example is Beartown. I just finished it, but I already want to reread it just to have a better mind map. And then we have childhood books that are like books that I really loved growing up, such as Charlotte's Web and the Poppy series. So I want to reread those as well, but without actually dedicating some time to do it, I don't think I will. And some more general goals that I have in mind or pathways that I want to think about in 2025 is reading more banned books. As we all know, books and book banning has been a resurgent in the past couple of years, and I just want to put a stop to that. I want to read as much as I can, get the knowledge as much as I can, and hopefully give you guys perspective on why these books shouldn't be banned. And I think that is it in terms of all the bookish things that I have in mind. I'm really hoping to just better myself when I read in 2025. And as for actually planning, I have already started on my 2025 spreadsheet, and y'all, I have taken in the recommendations from everybody in the Q3 reading wrap up. I have reflected on what I use and what I don't use on my spreadsheet, so I have updated it to match what I want and what I need, and I'm so excited. I'm really excited to use the new spreadsheet for 2025. It's still kind of the same, but I removed all the clunky things that I didn't like in 2024. I updated it so that the quarterly statistics all add up with each other, so I don't have to do it manually at every quarter. So that's really exciting for me as a data nerd. And yeah, I think that is it, and that about wraps up this not really long video, hopefully. And if you guys notice a change in voice and tone and excitement, again, seasonal depression. And also, I realized that in my other video, I might be screaming into the mic because by the time I finish filming, my throat is gone. My throat is dead. And for longer content video, especially with the monthly wrap up and the quarterly statistics, it's just not doable. I didn't realize this is something I need to think about and I need to do, but it is what it is. And this is how I think future videos are gonna sound. It might be a little bit more muted, but trust me, I am still the same person. I'm just trying to preserve my voice a little bit. Okay, I really love this tag. I really got to reflect a lot on this tag, and I should have done it earlier, but I've been pretty lazy and I've been pretty behind on things, but here we are. It is done. Let me know if there's anything I said that you agree with. Let me know if anything surprises you or what you expect out of my favorite book of 2024 from the three I talked about: Anxious People, One for My Enemy, and The Burning God, because I'm excited. I want to know what you guys think is going to be my favorite. I really think it's going to be one of these three books. I know I said in one of my original video that catch me at the end of 2024 saying that The Broken Ring will be my favorite book, and I feel like it was cheating. I feel like it was cheating because I already got the spoilers and I knew what was going to happen in the book, because at the moment, while it's a very good execution of the book, we haven't hit any climaxes that makes me feel like, oh my god, it's happening, everything's happening. So there's no a lot of excitement. I still love it. I really do love it. It's one of the best manhwas I've read, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went back on my words. It's not going to be my favorite of 2024. And I think I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you guys like bookish content, bookish things, all my reviews, all the data, make sure to subscribe so you can be in the loop of all my yap and all that good things, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!